Hello my friends, welcome to this second video for changing spots on the ceiling. In the previous video I've shown you how to change 220 volts spots. If you can, I highly recommend, because it's by far easier and it gives a very good light. But here, unfortunately, for space reasons on the ceiling, even though I already bought my spots for 220, I will have to use the transfo for having low voltage, because all the other spots I found with 220 don't fit into this small space. And I will not show you here how to remove the old spots. For this you can check out the first video. So here I made a dry run. You see here the power arriving. This is the 220 volt. This is then leading to the connection with the transfo. Then we have here the low voltage coming out. This is connected to the two bulbs, and both bulbs have a regular flow. So our dry test is good. Here I use, instead of a ladder, a box of fissures that I found on the flea market. The first thing to do, of course, is to remove the electricity on the electricity board. This is a really seldom opportunity to have on the same screen both the light and the switchboard. I've already shown you this in more detail, but here I need to cut the power. Here the lamp is fixed and I'm leaving the switch on, and I'm just switching off the circuit. I already removed the transfer which was in place. You see, quite a big thing, and this one will now be replaced with a new one which is by far smaller, which is very good because there's not so much space. So here I will then replace it with this one. You see, it's much smaller, and very careful about the direction for installing the electricity. This is 220, and this here is the low voltage 12 volt. So first of all, you need to know where the power is. So in this case here it is this one, but normally you already see it when you are dismantling the transfo. So what happens is that here I have one red and one brown wire, and these are the same wires popping out on the other side. So that's why I know that the power is here. Here I will exceptionally use this type of connectors. These are clipsable wacos. This will be very appropriate because I have different sections in the different cables I'm attaching. So here this is much better. I'm putting the transfo. Okay, here I'm making a triple connection with, on one hand, the arrival of the electricity, then directly the socket for the bulb, and last but not least the bridge to the other spot. Here unfortunately I don't have any more the clipsable wacos, so I will use a classical domino. It is easier to have separated dominoes. So it's the same. I'm putting together the socket for the first spot, the arrival of electricity, and the bridge to the other spot. Now we're going to test if this first installation is working. Now I'm putting back the power on the electricity box. Success! It worked! So now here everything is in place and it's working. And now I will connect the second spot with its socket. And of course we'll be careful of making sure that there's no copper visible at all. Otherwise it's calling for trouble. Make sure you're tightening well, because this will be holding forever, and if it's not well tightened, then it may move when putting back the wires into the ceiling. So one little hint, because there are different sections, is to place both wires and only then to close both screws. Okay, I'm plugging the bulb. And now let's see if it works. I'm putting back the electricity. Yes. Okay, now the challenge is to put all this back into this hole. Here normally everything is empty, so it shouldn't be too difficult. On y va. Okay, here a little bit of iron wool for removing the stains of rust. For placing the spot, we first of all need to remove the bulb. So the spotlight goes through the socket, and then we heighten first feather and then the second feather. So it won't be perfectly in the ceiling, but this is because it's an old spot. Then we are putting the ring for maintaining the bulb into the spotlight. Of course, here I'm missing the ring, so I make myself one. And now we will check if it's working, putting the power on. You will notice that I'm wearing here the Ukrainian t-shirt, so don't hesitate to have a look at the video about the different signs of solidarity that I've seen within the European Union. That's it, my friends. The works have been successful. I have to say it was really a difficult piece of work because of the constraints I had on the ceiling. A little hint of testing up front on the ground was really very helpful because first of all it gave me the assurance that it would be working, and secondly, in case of difficulties, I've really saved a lot of time. In this big concentration for these works, I forgot to mention that I have a very nice video about how to choose your spots. This is also addressing the question of 220 volts or 12 volts. I'm leaving you now and inviting to have a look at this other video. So see you in a second on Happy Hour TV 1.